Yeah, hello, I'm Paul, and this is Read a Treat, and this is live. I'm going through some books. I can't sleep. I slept all day yesterday because of my pills, so I can't sleep at this point. So I decided to go through my books, separate them between books I've read, books I want to reread, and books I haven't read yet. And honestly, there is a lot of them that I want to reread. Now I'm going to be going back and forth from here to the books, and I'm going to be putting some books up on the shelf once I get them done and stuff like that. So I will go onto my icon. Hey, Mama. Good morning. So one book that I've read is The Devil's Detective by Simon Kirk Unsworth. I read that one, so it goes in the unread pile. I mean, the read pile. Now, here's one. Dead and Breakfast. It's a Mary Goes and it's a cozy mystery by Kate Kingsbury. Now, with this one, I do want to reread it. So I'm going to put it on my reread stack. I'm still doing good, but I'm still doing good. Let's see if I can find it. Goodreads. The Wasteland, I'm 18% done with it. And Catwoman, I'm still 35% done with it. So I'm doing pretty good. Now, I do want to reread these. It's the John Carter Warlord of Mars series, and I do have them all. So I do want to reread these. Now, some of them I'm going to reread next year, some of them probably a year later, because I'm not going to reread constantly. I'm going to take my time with the rereads. This is another John Carter of Mars. Now, this here is Violet Grove Rats Silkworm. The thing is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them right for right now over to the I read piles until I get more of the series. I think I got one more. So we'll see. No, I'll just put them in that because really I shouldn't get to these books before. This is The Cuckoo's Calling. I didn't get through these before I read the third one. Okay. Now here's 3 books by Stephen King. They are book 1, Mr. Mercedes. Because the advertisements and stuff said horror, and this is not horror. This is a detective with a very little bit of sci-fi in it. So I'm going to reread this series, and I'm going to go into it as a PI story. So maybe that will help me. And then we got Mr. Mercedes, we got Finders Keepers, which is the 3rd book. And we have End of Watch, which is the 3rd book. Yeah, sometimes it does that. I'm sorry, bud. Now, I did read this. It was a great book. And I enjoyed it. But I don't feel like rereading it at this point in time. So I'm going to put it over there. Winnie the Button Box. Now, I have to say, this is done by Stephen King and Richard Chizmar. This is the worst book. One of the worst books I ever saw Stephen King's name on. I hated this book. It could have been just me. Maybe it just wasn't for me. The thing is, you go ahead, pick it up, read it, and see if it suits your style. But personally, I totally hate this book. But that's my opinion of the book, not yours. And I'll keep it because it is part of the Stephen King library. Here's a Stephen King revival. Got that read. And it's a good read. I'm not going to say it's a great read. I think I gave it 3 stars if it's lucky. Uh, let's see. Trying to make places here. And this is A Weekend by James S. Murray with Darren Wehrmouth. And this is the first story of the series. I do have the second, but I don't have the rest of them. But I can't wait to get to the second one. I believe the second one is on my TBR for next month. Why what? Why about what? Put that. Because it just wasn't for me. It didn't do nothing for me. I thought it was lame and everything else. It just wasn't a book for me. As readers, we come up on books that just ain't for us. Sometimes we come up with books that is for us, but we're not in the mood for it. But this book here just was not for me at all. I just didn't care for it. This ain't the only one. I mean, there's one I'm not going to talk about with Stephen King that is lower in my rating than that one is. Now, here we go into some mass market paperbacks. This is Anne Perry, The Face of a Stranger. It's historical fiction. I think that's about the only thing Anne Perry writes, but to my knowledge about everything I got from her. But Face of a Stranger by Anne Perry, I haven't read yet. You know, I can't even tell you, Momo. I really couldn't tell you no more. If you asked me that the day after I read it a couple of years ago, I probably could tell you. So there's that one. Here's another Anne Perry. They Breach a Promise. And this is a William Monk novel. I don't know. Yeah, and this is a William Monk novel. So both of them are William Monk novels. And I haven't read this one. And this is Out of Time by Nan Abbey. I haven't read this one, but I'm looking forward to it. It just sounds like a great read. Then we got Wendy Corset-Staub, Dead Before Dark. This is like a mystery. And I just love the title. That's where I got it. I love the title. Now, with that said, here's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and other stories. I read this probably beginning of last year or the end of the year before that. But I'm going to reread this one. So we're going to put that up here in the rereads. We got Wendy Corset-Staub, Kiss Her Goodbye. It says, if you like Mary Higgins Clark, you'll love this. So, Then we're back to Anne Perry, and this is Blue Gate Fields, and this is a Charlotte and Thomas Pitt novel. Now, if anybody read these, please comment. If you're rewatching, comment. If you're watching now, comment. This is With a Vengeance by Elaine Dreyer. So there's that one. I haven't read that one, so it goes over here. This is Catherine Hull Page. This is a mystery, and this is The Body in the Moonlight, and it's a Fairchild mystery. I had not read this yet, but I love the cover. Then we got Joanne Fluke. Now, I did try to read one of hers that was a cozy mystery for about Christmas. I might try it again sometime, but this here looks better. It's a mystery, a regular mystery looks like, and it's Winter Chill. Then we got one of my favorite female authors of mystery, Kathy Reich's Spider Bones. I haven't read this yet, but I can't wait to do it. Hey, Judy. I know you're leaving a comment, bud, and I appreciate it. This is Anne Perry, and another Wayne novel. This is Funeral in Blue. I'm just going through my bookshelves and seeing which ones I need to read, which ones I want to reread, and which ones I ain't going to, that I've already read that I'm not going to reread. If that makes sense, without giving me a headache. I think it just gave me one. And this is Iris Johansson, and it says takes you to the edge of suspense. Books can kill. And Eve Duncan forensic thriller, The Face of Deception. So everybody knows I like forensic in a mystery, and I can't wait to see how good Iris Johansson does. But my favorite one in that kind of mystery is Kathy Reich's. And here's a Kate Shortcut mystery. I honestly don't know if this is a mystery or a cozy mystery, but it is by Dana Stabnow. It's Blood Will Tell. That's okay, bud. And then Lillian Jackson Braun comes up with The Cat Who Knew a Cardinal. And I have not read this. So if anytime I take it and go over like this direction, I haven't read it. If I go this direction, as a reread it's going to become a reread. If I go over here, it's I've already read it. In case I forget to say what I'm doing. This is by C.S. Graham, The Babylonian Codex. I had not read this, but it looks good, sounds good, and I can't wait to get my hands on it and read it. I already got my hands on it, I just have to read it now. Now this is by Michael Lamlo. This one here I've been wanting to read, and especially after I read the other Dameless book the other day. And that is Demonologist. I have not read this yet, but I will be, that's for sure. Then we got Jeffrey Deaver, the Coffin Dancer. He's the one that wrote The Bone Collector and The Coffin Dancer. I'm just enjoying Jeffrey Deaver. He's one of the best. He's one of my favorite thriller writers. So let's put it that way. And let's say if his famous detective's going to be in that or not. Then we got James Reese, The Witchery. It looks good. I think it looks good. I'm sorry, but I can't help the sound. I really can't. I cannot help the sound. Uh, I've tried before, and it could be the time of the night. It could be the position I'm in. It could be because I'm unplugged. Let me go and see if plugging it in helps any. Hopefully that works for sound. Is this better? Is this better? This is Murray Smith, The Devil's Juggler. It's a mystery. Yeah, the memo said the same thing. Okay, thank you, Memo. This is the 30th anniversary of, from DAW, which is science fiction, has a bunch of different writers, a bunch of short stories, and it's sci-fi. And people knows I'm not big on sci-fi, but someday I will crack this open and start reading it. And hopefully you'll get me into sci-fi. I got some other sci-fi running around here. I'm hoping to get me into the sci-fi genre, like this one. This one here is Empire of Dust. It's a sci-tech novel by J.C. Badford. And I can't remember if this is number 1 or number 2, but it's one of them. This here is a Crossways by the same author. This is either part 1 and part 2. I don't know. And I don't feel like looking it up at this time. Then we got another Irish Johansson, Reap the Wind. I'm not sure if I'm going to like that or not because it shows something like the White House or something right there. I don't know if that is the White House or not. But I'm hoping not because I hate political crap. So, and then we got Irish Johansson's Eve. This is a novel. You don't see where it goes, but it kind of looks sci-fi-ish to me. So, anyway. Yeah, I did too, Memo. Now, what I need to do is, so you guys bear with me, and I need to clear out this table, put them over on bookshelves, and get more and put over here. So if you can bear with me, I won't be able to read what you're saying, but I will try to keep talking. And I do this as quick as I can. And I'm cleaning up my bookshelves. I'm switching it around and all that stuff this morning. That's why I'm doing the video. Because I got stuff started on this. And this doesn't want to reread. These are mesh mark pick, but rereads out here. Yes, I'm talking to myself. I'm trying to get this straight. Okay. That's still. But anyway, I started this. And decided to go live, keep me company. Well, nobody minds, but. I'm getting more books. Okay. I'm back. That makes you tiresome. So we're going to go through this, and I'm going to get off of here and take a break, and then finish it up sometime today. But now we got Janie and Crit's Witchcraft. I have never read this book, and I pride myself on never reading a book I don't own. That means I would never borrow it from the library, but I will buy it from the library. This is book 1, The Iron Wolves. And I can't remember if I read this or not. And it doesn't really matter because I will be reading it. I know it's been on my TBR quite a bit. This is Ramsey Campbell, The Dark Companions. And if you know Ramsey Campbell, you know he's a horror writer. And he's back from the 70s, 80s, so like that. Let me see. I know he wrote more than that. This must be his third book. 1982 when this book came out. So that's going to be interesting to read. Then we got The Goblin Wood by Hilary Bell. And that intrigues me. I'll say that much. That one there, it intrigued me. When we got William W. Johnstone, The Family Jensen, Brotherhood of Evil. It's a Western. And I like my Westerns. I haven't read that yet. I haven't read this one. This is from the same author, The Jackals. And I'm going to be getting into some of these Westerns again. Same author, Strange Hold and Duff McAllister Western, Duff McAllister Western, The Stronghold. And I forgot to say that his niece, J.A. Johnson, writes the books with him. So. Then we got a Catherine Hull Page, The Body in the Big Apple. So, I think it starts out in New York City. So, that's why it has the name Big Apple on it. This is by Catherine Hull Page, Body Cast. So, there's that. And I have the worst luck with lighting when I'm over here. Don't pay attention to stuff behind me because it's a mess. This is a Cozy Mystery by Lee Perry. It's skeleton in this family. And I believe this is a series, which I don't have. And I haven't read this one yet. Then we got Catherine Hull Page, The Body in the Bog, which I believe these are cozy mysteries as well. I believe she writes cozy mysteries. Then we got this heavy duty one. It's by Brandon Sanderson, The Way of Kings. It is the first book of the Stormlight Archive, and I've never read it. I want to get into it, but I've never ever read it. And here's another one I've been wanting to get into, but never did. And this is by Susanna Clark, Jonathan Strange, and Mr. Norrell. I've heard a lot of good things about this. I heard a lot of bad things about it. So it's about time for me to pick it up and read it and see what I think of it. Then we got Tess Kirsten. She wrote, not only did she write this one, but she also wrote The Bone Garden. And this is The Keepsake. And like I said, a lot of these are mysteries of some sort or another. But this is by Douglas Preston and the Anglican Child. And it's called The Ice Limit. Now I do have the sequel to this, I believe, and Uh, so I might try to read them both together. This is Terry Brooks, Wizard at Large. This thing has been on my TBR so long that I'm just not sure about it anymore. But I'll keep it. And then we got a Clive Cussler and Dirk Cussler, father and son. Poseidon's Arrow is a Dirk Pitt novel. I got a lot of his books I need to read. I think out of all the books I read, I only read one. That's pretty bad, I think. And this is Patricia Wentworth. The case is closed, and this is a Miss Silver mystery. And this is Condemned Carrier by Cindy Cope. And if you like supporting the independent authors and you like fantasy, this might be a book that you might enjoy. But I don't need to reread that. Now here's one I'm going to reread. I haven't read this for years, and that's White Shark by Peter Benchley. I read that so many years ago, it's not funny. And I really loved it. So that's going to get put over here to be reread. The Blind Panic, Graham Masterson. I read this, can't remember much of it, but it's going to go back on my to be read list. And that's how a lot of these books are getting on there, is on the to be read list. Now, I am going to be rereading Frankenstein this coming year. I haven't read it for a while. And this one here is over there in the series collection, but this my extra one, Stephen King, The Wind Through the Keyhole. It's a Dark Tower novel. And this novel here goes right smack in between the series. So then we got The Lesser Dead. I'm going to try to reread that one. And I meant to put this one over here as already read, because I haven't already read it, but I will be before that series then. Hell House by Richard Matheson. I'm going to reread this one. Because, and yes, I usually don't reread nothing, but I feel like it's time to start rereading at least a little bit. Black Widow, Red Vengeance. I read this. It was an awesome book. I love this one and the first one. So if you get a chance to read these ones, I say go for it. Graveyard Shift, awesome book. 5-star all the way. Loved it. Couldn't hardly put it down. It was an awesome book. Okay, now these are two oldies, and I'm not going to reread. This is on the Outline of History by H.G. Wells, Part 1 and 2. Right there, you can see it. And there's no pictures or nothing. Okay, my back's hurting. Hey, Vinny. Okay. Thank you, bud. I'm about ready to wrap up. And because my back's getting the worst of me. But I am enjoying this, going through these books and putting over the ones I haven't read, the ones I did read, and the ones I want to reread. Yep, my wishes and thoughts is always with her, Vin. And who knows, I might even be able to fall asleep now since I did a little bit of stuff. I'm having a hard time with this. Can't be scared of nothing that you can't help, not do nothing about, bud. The only thing you can do is pray about it and let God handle it. So. Well, let's go through a little bit more books while we're coming to vending. And here it is. I'm going to be rereading this book. And why am I going to be rereading Dracula? Because I like it. Okay, then, thank you for stopping by. I'm going to be rereading this. I don't know if I'm going to reread this one or the littler one I have, because that's just going to go through the main things that I need. Same with Frankenstein. But I do have the sequel to this now. So we'll see which book I'm going to go with. Then another great book I read, John Soule's Black Lightning. So that's going to go right over here. And I read Melting Kid by Edgar Cantero. It was good. It could have been better. Enough said. Bentley Little, The Store. Awesome book. I enjoyed it. I think I gave it 4 stars. So that goes right over there. I haven't read this for a long time, so I'm going to pick this up again. I'm going to reread this. It is Agatha Christie's Mystery Collection, and then there were none. And I'm just going to pick it up and reread it. This is the only one I have of Agatha Christie, and it is leather bound. Then this is another independent author, I believe. And it's this lady right there. But Tannerdu is her name or something like that. And it's called The Living Blood. Awesome book, people. If you haven't heard of her, check her out. That is an awesome book, in Living Blood. Another one I read, Your Heart Belongs to Me by Dean Koontz. Another great book, 5 stars, I believe. I enjoyed this immensely. Now I have to move stuff around. Before a pile starts falling. Ghost Story by Peter Straub. I really enjoyed that book. That's an awesome book. From the beginning to the end. I enjoyed it. 5 stars, I believe. Here's another one, Stephen King. This is Pet Cemetery. And that was another great book. Okay, Momo. So you guys take care. And I'm going to get off here. You guys are awesome for being up this late, this early, however you want to say it. And I'll be talking to everybody later. Until then, just take care of yourselves and your loved ones.